My name is Rebecca, and the day my mom betrayed me was the day I finally stopped being the good daughter. I trusted her with everything, my money, my heart, and my loyalty. When she told me Dad's condition had worsened, I didn't hesitate. I handed her my credit card, the one linked to my corporate account, thinking I was saving his life. But instead of hospital bills, I found $90,000 worth of plane tickets, resorts, and spa packages for my sister's dream Hawaii getaway. That was the day I decided, if my family wanted to play dirty, I'd let them drown in the mess they made. If you've ever trusted someone only to watch them twist that trust into betrayal, this story will hit deep. So, grab your seat, and if you believe karma has perfect timing, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into one of the most shocking yet satisfying family revenge stories you'll ever hear. And until recently, I thought I came from a loving, ordinary family. Mom, Dad, and my younger sister, Lily. On the surface, we looked perfect: family dinners, Christmas photos, matching pajamas, the whole facade. But what no one saw was how easily love in our home turned into manipulation. Dad was always kind, a quiet man who believed peace was more important than being right. He'd worked 30 years as an auto technician, hands scarred, back bent, but he never complained. Mom, on the other hand, was something else. She loved appearances more than people. Every decision she made was filtered through one question: how will this make us look? And then there was Lily, 5 years younger than me, my mother's golden child. If I so much as forgot to call home one weekend, Mom would lecture me for an hour. But if Lily crashed Mom's car or failed a class, it was she still finding herself. I was the responsible one, the planner, the saver, the one who stayed late at work and paid my own bills. By 27, I had a stable job as a corporate financial analyst. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid well. Well enough that when Dad got sick, I didn't hesitate to step up. It started quietly. A few months before the chaos, Dad began losing weight. He'd always been strong, so when he started missing meals, we knew something was wrong. One evening, Mom called, her voice trembling. "Rebecca, your father needs an MRI and possibly surgery. I don't have the funds right now. Could you help?" Of course I could. I didn't even think twice. I told her to use my card for anything medical, treatment, medicine, even travel for consultations. "Don't worry, Mom," I said. "Whatever Dad needs." She sounded relieved, too relieved, now that I think about it. Days turned into weeks. I checked in regularly, and she kept updating me: "The bills are piling up, insurance is complicated, we had to move money around." I believed her every word. Until one random Monday morning, I got an email from our company's accounting department. Subject: Corporate Expense Alert, Unusual Activity Detected. When I opened it, my stomach twisted. It wasn't hospital bills. It was Hawaiian Airlines. Followed by Four Seasons Resort Maui. Then Aloha Jet Rentals. I thought it was a mistake, maybe my card had been cloned. But then I saw the booking names. Mom. Lily. And under trip purpose? Lily's graduation celebration, family getaway. $90,127. Fully charged to my corporate card. My hand shook as I called Mom. The moment she answered, I could hear waves in the background. Laughter. Music. "Mom? What's going on?" "Oh, Rebecca. Don't panic. We're just taking a short break, Lily needed this after all her stress." I couldn't breathe. "You took Dad's treatment money and..." She cut me off sharply. "Don't exaggerate. Your father's fine. We postponed the appointment. You've been so serious lately, you don't understand how hard it's been on Lily." That's when something inside me broke. All my life, I'd tried to be the dependable daughter. The one who fixed things. The one who made excuses for their behavior. But that day, I realized I'd been nothing more than their personal ATM. After hanging up, I sat in silence, the phone heavy in my hand. I felt disgusted, angry, heartbroken, but mostly betrayed. I couldn't report the charge immediately, it was a corporate card. If the company found out, I could lose my job. My mind raced for hours until one thought crystallized: let them think I'm helpless. If they wanted to spend my money like it was free, I'd let them, but they'd learn how expensive betrayal could become. I decided not to tell the company. Not yet. Instead, I quietly contacted the fraud department and requested detailed transaction records under the pretext of an audit. What I found made my blood run cold: luxury suites, designer shopping sprees, spa treatments, even jewelry. They were living it up while Dad's test results sat untouched in some clinic drawer. The next week, I called Dad directly. His voice was weak but cheerful. "Becky, sweetheart, how's work?" I hesitated. "Dad, how are you? Did Mom reschedule your appointment?" "Oh, she said we can't afford it right now," he replied, sounding apologetic. "But she promised after the trip." "Trip?" I whispered. He paused. "Oh, I wasn't supposed to mention it, was I? They said you insisted we take a family vacation." That's when my heart shattered. Not only had they stolen from me, they'd lied to him, made me the villain, and used his illness as cover. I hung up before he could hear my voice crack. From that moment on, I stopped being the Rebecca they knew. The one who forgave. The one who stayed quiet. The one who carried the family on her shoulders. If they wanted to play with corporate money, then they'd deal with corporate consequences. The next few days were a blur of anger disguised as silence. Every time my phone buzzed, I expected it to be my company's finance department calling to ask why nearly 6 figures had vanished from my corporate card. But instead, nothing. They hadn't noticed, yet. And that's when my calm turned into strategy. I began collecting evidence, screenshots, receipts, emails, and location data tied to the charges. Each one was like a puzzle piece painting an ugly truth. My mother hadn't just been careless, she had planned this. She'd told me Dad needed treatment weeks before the vacation, knowing full well she was booking luxury flights under medical leave. Lily's social media made it worse. She posted bikini shots tagged #LivingMyBestLife #HawaiiHeaven. Her captions were like daggers. "Thanks to my amazing family for this surprise trip, Desert Island Sparkling Heart. Grateful to have people who know I deserve luxury." Each post got hundreds of likes, and all I could think was, I'm paying for that smile. I didn't comment. Didn't call. Didn't text. Instead, I printed every single thing. My office printer became my confessional: every photo, every receipt, every post, stapled into neat, undeniable proof. But just when I thought things couldn't get worse, the company email arrived. "Rebecca, we've noticed some irregular transactions on your corporate account. Please provide justification by Friday." My chest tightened. This was it: if I didn't explain, I could be fired. If I did explain, I'd expose my family. Either way, I'd lose something. I spent that night staring at my laptop, torn between rage and grief. For once in my life, I realized the truth: I'd spent years protecting a family that never protected me. So, instead of covering for them, I made a decision: I'd protect myself. The next morning, I called my boss, Mr. Grant, a serious man who didn't waste words. "Sir, I discovered unauthorized use of my corporate card. I believe it's connected to a family emergency that was misrepresented to me." He was silent for a moment. "Rebecca, can you prove you didn't authorize the charges?" "Yes," I said calmly. "And I'll provide everything by end of day." By noon, I had compiled a detailed report, every expense tied to my mother's and sister's names, along with timestamps showing I was in another city the entire time. When I hit send, I felt both terrified and liberated. That night, I got another call, this time from Mom. "How dare you freeze the card?" "We were in the middle of our stay," she screamed. Her voice cracked through the speaker, shrill and defensive. "Do you know how embarrassing it was? The hotel said the payment failed. You made us look ridiculous." I almost laughed. You used company money, Mom. That's fraud. She went quiet for a second before spitting out, "You've always been jealous of your sister's happiness. I did this for family." And for the first time in my life, I replied coldly, "No, Mom. You did this for yourself. And now, you'll see what family betrayal really costs." The fallout came faster than I expected. By Monday morning, the company's internal audit team had launched a full investigation. HR called me in for a private meeting. My heart pounded as I walked down the corridor, every step echoing the weight of what my mother and sister had done. Inside, Mr. Grant sat across from two compliance officers. His voice was calm but firm. "Rebecca, we've reviewed your report and confirmed the charges weren't authorized by you. However, because it's a corporate card, the matter must be formally escalated." Escalated. That one word hit me like a hammer. It meant lawyers, police, legal records. My family had turned my life into a criminal case. I nodded quietly. "Do what you have to do, sir." That evening, I went home to find my phone flooded with messages, most from Mom. "Mom, how could you involve your company? You're ruining us." "Mom, your sister's crying her eyes out." "Mom, I thought you'd protect family no matter what." Every message was soaked in guilt-tripping, her favorite manipulation weapon. But the final text made my blood boil. "Mom, if you loved your father, you'd fix this." That was the moment I broke. I sat on the couch, shaking, tears blurring my vision. How could she use Dad's name like that? The one person who had done nothing wrong, the one she was supposed to care for. I felt something inside me shift. The sadness that had been choking me turned into something sharper, clarity. For years, I had been the family scapegoat. The cold one, the selfish one, the one who didn't understand family values. But the truth was simple, I'd just been the only one who had values at all. So, I stopped crying. I picked up my phone, opened a new message, and typed, "Mom, you and Lily used a corporate card illegally. The company has filed a fraud complaint. Whatever happens now is out of my hands. You made your choices." Then I hit send, and blocked her number. The next few days were chaos. HR informed me that federal investigators had been notified. Because the card belonged to a financial institution, this was now classified as corporate theft. When I finally told Dad, his reaction crushed me. He went silent for a long time before whispering, "Rebecca. I didn't know." "I swear." "I know, Dad," I said softly. "I believe you." Then he said something I'll never forget. "Your mother always wanted luxury more than loyalty. Maybe this time she'll finally learn what it costs." His voice cracked, not from anger, but disappointment. That night, as I sat alone, the news broke, local woman under investigation for corporate fraud, family member involved. There it was, my family's secret, now public. Mom's perfect reputation? Shattered. Lily's influencer dreams? Over. And me? For the first time in my life, I felt free. But this wasn't revenge yet. No. This was only justice beginning to stir. The real payback was still to come. When I said nothing more was in my hands, I lied. I'd set the stage, but the show had only begun. The following week, my company's legal department contacted me for a formal statement. They had already traced every purchase to my mother's email and Lily's contact number. Fraud analysts confirmed the charges were manually entered, not stolen, meaning they'd willingly used my corporate card. My boss, Mr. Grant, looked at me over his glasses. "Rebecca, you've handled this professionally. We'll protect your position, but we are pursuing prosecution. These individuals impersonated a corporate employee and accessed company funds. You understand what that means?" I did. It meant handcuffs, courtrooms, and a permanent stain on their records. And I wasn't stopping it. 2 days later, the police visited my parents' house with a summons. Mom tried to charm her way through it. It's a misunderstanding, officer. But the evidence was bulletproof. Her voice, recorded in the hotel's booking line. Her signature on the luxury store receipts. Lily's posts timestamped with the exact purchase logs. They couldn't talk their way out this time. I stayed quiet, letting everything unfold naturally. When Lily finally called me from an unknown number, she was sobbing. "Becca, please. I didn't know it was illegal. Mom said you'd handle it." I let her words hang in silence before replying coldly. "You're an adult, Lily. You knew that card wasn't yours. Actions have consequences, welcome to the real world." Then I hung up. The case didn't drag on long. My company decided to press charges but later offered a settlement if the stolen amount was fully repaid. Of course, Mom didn't have $90,000. So, to avoid prison, she had to sell her precious luxury SUV and take out a second mortgage on the house, the same house she once refused to let me stay in when I lost my apartment years ago. Karma doesn't just visit, it redecorates. As for Lily, she had to publicly apologize on social media when the story spread locally. Her sponsorships vanished overnight. The comments section was brutal. #FraudFamily. Stealing from your sister? Disgusting. Hope Hawaii was worth it. For once, she couldn't post a filtered smile to fix it. Dad called me one evening, his voice trembling. "Your mom's devastated, Rebecca." I sighed softly. "She's not devastated, Dad. She's embarrassed. There's a difference." He didn't argue. Instead, he whispered, "You did what you had to. I'm proud of you." Those words, "I'm proud of you," hit harder than any revenge could. Because for once, justice didn't come from anger. It came from truth. And watching my mother and sister face consequences they once thought they were immune to? That was the sweetest justice of all. A few months later, the dust finally began to settle. The investigation closed, the money was repaid in full, and my company cleared my name. I didn't lose my job, in fact, I earned a promotion for handling the ordeal with remarkable composure under pressure. It was ironic. The same card that almost ruined me became the reason I rose higher than ever. Mom and Lily, on the other hand, weren't so lucky. Mom's reputation in our neighborhood, gone. Her friends stopped visiting, the invitations dried up, and the social circles she loved so much quietly pushed her out. Lily dropped out of her influencer scene entirely. Every time she tried to start over, someone would dig up her old Hawaii scandal. She deleted all her accounts eventually, tired of being called a thief. As for Dad, he finally got the treatment he needed. When I took over managing his medical care, I made sure every bill was paid directly to the hospital, no middlemen, no hidden motives. Watching him regain his strength reminded me that not all family ties were poison. Some could still heal. One afternoon, as I helped him walk around the garden, he said softly, "You know, Rebecca, I think your mom loved us in her own way. She just got lost in the wrong things." I nodded. "Maybe. But love without respect isn't love, Dad. It's control." He smiled faintly. "You're wiser than I ever was." A year later, I'd moved into my own townhouse, small, peaceful, and mine. Sometimes, I'd scroll through old photos and feel a sting of sadness. Losing your family isn't easy, even when it's the right thing. But the peace that came after setting boundaries? That was priceless. Mom tried reaching out once. A simple text. "Can we talk?" I typed a reply, stared at it for a moment, then deleted it. Some chapters don't need closure, they need distance. And now, when I think about what happened, I don't feel anger anymore. I feel gratitude. Because that betrayal taught me the one lesson no college, job, or mentor ever could. Never apologize for protecting yourself. I used to think revenge meant making them suffer. But real revenge? It's rebuilding your life so beautifully that their absence feels like a blessing. So if you've ever been betrayed by the people you trusted most, remember Rebecca's story. Sometimes the best revenge isn't shouting, fighting, or getting even. It's walking away stronger, wiser, and untouchable. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. What's the most satisfying justice you've ever seen life deliver? And as always, stay tuned for more powerful stories of betrayal, karma, and redemption, right here on Shadow of Revenge.